Everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here, and we're here to talk Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2, Episode 3, The Greater Good. Before we get started, if you enjoy the content on the channel, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it, and then hop down in the comment section. Let's talk about tonight's episode. So the show starts up with Tariq showing up to an event that Councilman Tate's brother is having. It's probably like some type of promotion party or something, but he's going to be going from just a street police officer to being an investigative detective, which I'm sure is going to like benefit Councilman Rashad Tate in some way, and that's why it's being mentioned. So Tariq shows up. He tells one of the officers that he is Tate's nephew, so that he can like actually kind of get into the party. And he tells him that he needs his help. He's trying to get Yaz out, and he needs, a reputable person that has some pull and some power so he can get his sister out of CPS, or at least, talk to her, get a meeting. So Tate tells him that he'll help him if Tariq is able to get some dirt on Sweeney, because as we know, Tate wants Sweeney's congressional seat. So Monet and Kane meet up with Tariq so that they can give Tariq the drugs that he needs. Monet tells them whatever beef y'all got going, squash your beef. Everybody needs to be on the same page. We're all working together. This is business. Whatever. Kane asks Monet for the money up front. She's offended, but gives it to him. He tells her, new connect, new rules. This is just what we have to do. So Kane goes to a party at Mecca's place where he is able to give him the money. We see it is some guy's birthday party who is doing a lot. So they're like splitting over a pig. Looks like they're pulling out drugs and different things out of the pig's body, which I'm like, this is a lot. But they do that. They go over and talk to the private chef. And we can see that the private chef is like down for the cause. Like, he knows how to keep secrets. He knows when somebody's doing too much talking. And the guy whose birthday it is doing way too much talking. And the chef kind of like notices that he's getting ready to start telling some of Mecca's business, whether about like his personal life or just about the business. And that's definitely not what we want. So he kind of like has some girls come over, some of the strippers over there, some of the dancers, so that they can get a dance. While they're sitting on the couch, Kane tells Mecca, come over here and get in on this with these girls. And the guy is like, he's not going to do it. He's had a hard on for some bitch for a long time. Now, Kane doesn't know who he's talking about, but we know that he's talking about Monet. So Mecca comes over, chokes the guy just enough to put him to sleep, and tells him, my business is my business. So Detective Whitlock has Zeke down at the station still, and Carrie keeps calling him. They got Carrie's face big as hell on this wall. They're like strategy wall, and I'm like, why are you so intent? Like, why is she the number one suspect? Because she knows him? Because they used to date? I guess. So Zeke is sitting there being questioned without a lawyer. Like, literally sitting there answering questions. And it's like, Detective Whitlock knows that Zeke is dumb AF. So he knows that he's able to pull all this stuff that a smarter person like Tariq would have been like, yeah, I'm not going to answer none of these questions without my lawyer present. So he asks Zeke if he knows who Jabari is. And he's like, Professor Reynolds? He wasn't my advisor. He was just, I know he worked at the school. He said that his advisor was Carrie, and it was like, Professor Milgram. So, Detective Whitlock was like, oh, Carrie? Carrie was your advisor? Okay. So in the back of his mind, it's like his wheels are turning like, oh yeah, they definitely did this shit. And it's like, you have such a hard on for Carrie and trying to prove that Carrie is the one that killed Jabari, that is weird, and it's coming across as super personal, right? So Tariq is like, I gotta go, I gotta get back, I got practice, I got all this stuff in the morning, I can't be here all night. So Kane wakes up and he is still at Mecca's place. And Mecca's down there working out. And he tells him, we loaded up your car with the product last night. And he asked about how Monet is doing their business. Now, Kane doesn't know who Mecca is. So he is Kane is like, well, my mom has this like little nerdy guy that is doing like some whatever system up at Stansfield. Kane doesn't like it because he can't see it, he can't control it, he's not a part of it. So Mecca's like, well, what's his name? Kane stayed loyal and down for a while. And then Mecca was like, look, if you don't trust me, I can't do business with somebody I don't trust. Now, I trust you. I've showed you my life. I've showed you all this stuff about me. But you don't want to show me anything about you. So Kane finally is just like, his name is Tariq St. Patrick. And Mecca is like, do you want help with it? Because I can handle it, and tell you how you can start to control him. And I'm like, it's like Kane has not learned from he doesn't learn from his mistakes. Like, what is he is so jarring, basically. So Tariq goes, he gets the meeting with CPS that he asked Tate to set up for him, and he's trying to get his sister back. And the counselor was like, yes, it's in a great home. This is one of my favorite families. You don't have a stable enough life to help her. She's young, she needs structure. You don't have a job. She can't live in a dorm with you. And, we'll just send her back after your grandmother goes through whatever. We'll send her back to live with her. Tariq is like, she can't go back with my grandma. My grandma's not stable. What if I get an apartment? And the lady was kind of rude. She was like, you can't even get this meeting yourself. How are you supposed to do that? Taking care of a child is a very big responsibility. And I'm like, as much as Tariq is a fucking screw up, if he were to put the drug ambitions away, he would be very able and capable of getting a job, going to school, and taking care of his sister. But as we know, Tariq he's trying to get the money from James. In order to get the money from James, he does have to finish up school. So Detective Whitlock still grilling Zeke. And Zeke just kept saying he didn't know Professor Milgram in that way. She's just his advisor, yada, yada, yada. Yet she is steady calling him and calling him and calling him. So he finally says that he was not with her the night that Jabari was killed. And I'm like, I get you're trying to protect her, but this is clearly like some type of alibi. You were with her. If she gets fired in the process, she gets fired in the process. Help keep her ass out of jail. So that's what I didn't understand about Zeke. Like, that she didn't kill him. That she wasn't involved in that. You were with her that night. Why keep lying and lying and lying about it when really the worst that can happen to her is she'll lose her job as a teacher, but she can get a job doing something else. So he keeps saying he wasn't with her, and Detective Whitlock is getting more and more agitated because I feel like deep down he knows that Carrie didn't do it. Deep down he knows that she probably was with this little young boy, and it's just jealousy. So Tariq tells Tate that he needs the address of where Yaz is, and then he'll get some dirt on Sweeney for him. And this is after they have class, and they talk about, again, they're still talking about like basic moral code that people have within themselves. So Lauren is waiting outside of Tate's office for Tariq, and she apologizes for running off on him the other day when they were on the roof. And then she like tells him, she thanks him for helping her out in class because she kind of got stumped a little bit when somebody like challenged some of her points back. So they're talking. Of course, he like, before he even got to her, he texts Bash. We know that Bash is Simon Stern's like boyfriend's little boy toy. So he texts him that he needs some help. So when Bash calls him back, Tariq has to take the call, and Lauren once again gets upset and walks away. And my whole thing is like, I don't know why Tariq couldn't just tell her from jump, I'm trying to get my sister out of CPS. Trying to get my little sister out of foster care. If he would have told her that up front, he wouldn't have this constant back and forth with her. Just tell her the truth and be done with it. So Bash calls him back, and Tariq is like, I need a legitimate paycheck. Bash tells him, great, I can start a company or like an LLC for you through Simon's company there. You just need to find a legitimate person that can sign off as like the president and owner of the company, and he wants a $30,000 cut. And he's like, just find somebody that you can trust. So Tariq and Brayden go to pick up the weight from Kane. While they're doing that, Mecca is like watching. Kane doesn't want to give Brayden the product. I don't understand why Kane is so against um what Tariq is doing. Like, it's bringing in the money for y'all. Like, I get that you still want to be out selling, but like, sit back and be easy with this until you have to get your hands dirty again. So Brayden shows Tariq that up on the roof, the spot that Lauren initially took him to, he was able to like create like a safe that's operated by a QR code. So people just have to hold their phone up to the camera. The door opens and it's a safe. So they're putting product there. People come that are supposed to pick it up, the ones that are buying it to like distribute themselves. So they're putting it in there. They're coming up with their QR reader. It opens, they leave the money there. So no one ever knows the transaction, but Tariq and Brayden will be able to see if somebody was to like take the product and not put the money there. Unless they're probably putting the money there first. They're probably putting the money there first and then the product is going. Like, it's sweet. It's a super dope setup. So Mecca meets up with Kane and tells him that he was watching them, and the key to getting control over Tariq is to get control of Brayden. They've been friends for going back to high school. So once you get Brayden in your back pocket, then you'll have the control over Tariq that you want. So Diana asks Monet if her father knows that Kane is back, because Diana's little antennas are going off, because she is wondering how Kane is already back into the fold so quickly, so easily, and she knows that he's more than likely the one that switched the drugs out after talking to Effie about it. So Monet goes off because Monet can't stand for Diana to ask her nothing. So she goes off and tells Diana, like, look, you want to talk to your father? Go handle it. And she gives Diana a box that Diana's supposed to go and take to Lorenzo in jail. So Tate goes to Carrie's office and asks her for the Wi-Fi password. She was like, it's on the wall in your office. And then he's just kind of like, have I offended you? Maybe if we were to hang out one-on-one. Like, he's trying to shoot his shot and she is disgusted. She was like, you haven't done anything wrong. You're just being your normal self. And I feel like that is such a dig. And Rashad is so slimy, he didn't think anything of it. So while they're talking, Detective Whitlock comes to Carrie's office. So Zeke is still at the precinct. So Detective Whitlock comes into Carrie's office and tells her that Zeke is down at the precinct, and he is saying that he was not with you the night that it happened. So Whitlock is like, so did you set him up? Did you tell him to go kill Jabari? Because I know what you do to men. I know how you're able to control them. And Carrie is like, this is not even, like, this can't be real. This is personal on your part. You're trying to pin this on me, knowing damn well I didn't have anything to do with this. And I feel the same way. Like, he is really trying to pin this on her with no real proof. So she used to date him. Look in Jabari's phone and see who else he was talking to. Jabari was also sleeping with, like, some students, but I guess whatever. So he tells Carrie that he is not going to rest until both her and Zeke are in handcuffs. And you can see now she's starting to get super nervous, because even though she honestly and truly did not kill Jabari, she is like, damn, he is really going in on me. I might take the fall for something I truly did not do, aka a murder. So Diana goes to see her father in jail. He looks kind of nervous about seeing her, or nervous that she's there and not Monet. So he says that, he was expecting to see Monet. Why isn't she there? She asks him if he knows why if he knew that Kane was back in the family, all this other stuff, and that she wants She wants to help more in the business. He tells her that family always comes first, yada, yada, yada. But he didn't, I don't recall him being like, I'll get you more involved, whatever. It's just kind of like family is family. Family always comes first. So this is just how it's going to be. So Monet meets Mecca at a restaurant. And Monet said they haven't talked in over 20 years. He can't be coming up and knocking over the garbage cans and leaving those signs at her house because it's not her mother's house. She has kids now. She's married, whatever, whatever. Why are you contacting me? He said back in the day, he was not the man that she was ready for. He was not the man that he wanted to be. And now he is. And he's just wondering, if they can get that old thing back. So he wants to take her out for dinner and kind of on a real date. Said that he looked her up under her new name, Monet Tejada, as opposed to Monet Stewart. And he tells her all the stuff he knows about her from, Google and, looking into her. And she tells him all the stuff that she knows about him. So the white girl that Zeke was having sex with when he was busted on by the detective, goes and kicks it with light skinned Keisha and Lauren and said that she's going to sell the video because she can make so much money from it. Lauren, who is kind of annoying, but I'm going to let her rock, is like, why would you do that? I hope he's okay. Light skinned Keisha is not. She's like, he's fine. He didn't do nothing. He ain't kill nobody. So they're talking and they decide they about to start getting high. They're getting ready to smoke because, everybody smokes on that campus but Lauren. We know that Lauren steers and stays away from drugs because either her brother died from an overdose or almost died from an overdose. One of the two. So they're getting ready to smoke. She leaves. She says that she can't be around that. She has internship interviews. And if they drug test her, she's done for. So she leaves the room. Light-skinned Keisha leaves a blunt and it looks like some pills or some cocaine in her drawer and says she needs this because she's going to need to relax. That's going to come in very, very important later because they're either going to do like some type of drug raid and Lauren's weed is going to they're going to find the drugs that Lauren has, or Lauren is going to see them herself and be super stressed and just be like, fuck it. And she's going to do it and it's all going to link back to Tariq. So Diana meets up with Tariq up on the roof because she wants a referral so she can meet with Davis. And she's like, you owe me. I've had your back. And he's like, I got you. It's cool. I got the referral for you. So as she's leaving, Lauren is coming up. They're passing by each other. They don't like each other because they both like Tariq. And she immediately gets up there and she's mad at Tariq and it's like, so I bring you to my spot and you turn around and you're going to bring her over, you're going to bring somebody else up here? Wow. So Tariq, of course, gets a text message and he tells her, wait, I'm going to show you what I have been doing, what's going on. So we see Mecca and Monet are in a helicopter together. And while they're up in the helicopter looking at the city, she is getting a phone call from Zeke, who still got his dumb ass at the precinct. Even though he's not under arrest, you're still there. So he's down at the precinct and she's like missing the call, just getting the voicemails because she's not there. So Tariq goes to see Yaz. And Yaz asks is Lauren Tariq's girlfriend. They're playing some games. He promises her that she'll be able to come home soon. She don't want to go back to Big Mama. Tariq was like, no, you're going to come live with me. And then we'll be together. And she was like, yep. And then Lauren can come over. And then Mom. And he was like, don't know if we're still working on getting Mama back. But you can just see that, like, Tariq, this is all she has left. Poor Yaz is all Tariq has left. Like, to be real. So, Lauren distracts the woman and asks where the bathroom is. And the woman gets up and, like, goes to show her. While she's doing that, Tariq bought this big teddy bear for Yaz. And he pulls out the back of it, a cell phone, and tells her, if you need to ever call me, talk to me, this is the number that you can, this is how you can call me, this is how you can text me. Don't let anybody know that you have this. So that's his way of being able to always find his sister, which is smart. So Tariq and Lauren get back to the room. They're talking. She's all warm and tingly now because she knows that he's really been taking care of business and not out doing whatever with some other women or some other girls. And they end up having sex. They are waking up or after postcoital, as my homegirl Rox would say, they're postcoital. And Tariq gets a text of NBC News with the video of Zeke getting arrested. Or not arrested, but brought in for questioning. So, old girl actually did sell the story to NBC News. Probably got a pretty penny for it, considering that Zeke just declared for the draft. So he leaves, and he's like getting into it with Lauren because Lauren was like, yeah, I found out earlier so and so is the girl that sold it. So he's like kind of mad at her, and she's like, I didn't know. And again, Tariq never, like, if you could just at least tell her, yeah, I'm his tutor, whatever. He goes in, it's like, it's just a bunch of stuff you don't understand. And it's like, y'all be going off on people that don't know the full story about stuff. So, of course, they're going to say stuff very lackadaisical because she didn't know. So he apologizes to her and he leaves, said he has to go handle it because him being in school is dependent on Zeke being in school. So, which I'm curious how that's going to work if Zeke enters the draft. Like, is Tariq going to still be able to stay in the canonical studies program? Like, how's that going to work? So, he calls Davis, leaves a voicemail for Davis that he needs his help with getting Zeke out. So Zeke is still down in this precinct, y'all, and he's like starting to panic, and it's still like, I don't know her. So he's like, your phone keeps ringing. He's like, it's probably my aunt. So he's like, it's probably my aunt. And the detective is like, it's not your aunt. And we see it's Carrie calling. So Zeke completely panics, and it's like, I have somebody else that I can call. And he's like, look, I have a PBA card. The detective pulls out the PBA card, and it's pulls out the PBA card, and it's down Ramirez's card. Now, we know Ramirez is dead. Zeke does not. So Detective Whitlock starts going crazy. Why do you have this card? Why do you have this card? Because as we know, Ramirez is missing. Jabari is dead. Ramirez's gun was next to Jabari. So now it's like, okay, did you kill Jabari? Did you kill Ramirez and then leave his gun there to try to set him up? So now there's two bodies on you. So now Whitlock is thinking, Zeke did this. Carrie put him up to it, taking y'all asses down. So Monet gets the phone call, gets her voicemail when she gets off the helicopter with Mecca, and she like speeds in there and she's busting in, where's my nephew? And I'm like, he's not really a guardian because I'm sure he's over 18. I mean, he's not really a minor, doesn't need a guardian because he's over 18. But she's going crazy. And Whitlock is like, he's there voluntarily. And I'm like, is he? Because you wouldn't let him leave earlier. So as she's in there going crazy, we see Davis walk in and says that he's looking for his client, who is Zeke, because Tariq called in Davis for help. Monet doesn't want the help, but Davis is like, look, it's a bunch of press out front. This is not going to end well for him if they see him walking out the precinct. So he tells Monet, take Zeke out the back door. I'll go handle the press. So he goes out front and he tells the press that Zeke was just there to assist with an investigation about some stuff that's happened on Stansfield's campus. Like, he's been helping them out. He hasn't been charged with anything. He has not committed any crime. This is going to keep him out of the NBA, I guarantee. Or it's going to eventually keep him back in school for another year or two, hoping that it kind of blows over. So Monet pulls over and and Zeke tells her that they think that he helped Carrie kill Jabari. So he didn't do that, so he gave them Ramirez's PBA card. And Monet is like, why would you do that? And he's like, that's what we supposed to do, right? You says what we supposed to do. And she has to tell him that Ramirez is dead. Now, Zeke didn't know. And the whole thing is, Monet has done so much with trying to keep everything away from Zeke. Why wouldn't you tell him that Ramirez is dead, that Ramirez is missing? Why didn't you take the card away from him? The card has apparently been taken away from all the other kids, but it's like Monet is doing so much. She wants to have complete control over everything. So you fucked this up, Monet. You fucked this up. So Kane meets up with Brayden, and it's like, oh, your boss sent you, you're doing drop-offs, whatever. Convinces Brayden, gets in his head, convinces him to go run the streets with him because Brayden is about $8,000 short of what he actually needed. You know, Tariq needs $30,000. So Kane is like, come run the streets with me, I can get you that and more. And Brayden keeps telling him, no, we can't do that. And he's like, all right, I know your boss. Gets real deep in his head. So Brayden eventually gets in the car with him. But then Kane gets a 911 text from Monet. So he's like, get out the car, I gotta go. Kane tells Brayden, leave the bag with me. I'll take this. I'll take this and move it. And then you can go ahead and I'll get you the money. Brayden has second thoughts about it, eventually goes ahead and does it. Tells Kane to meet him at 10 a.m., not to cross him. And I'm like, don't be threatening that man. Kane will take it and not come back. Don't do that. So they're at the house. Monet is going off on Kane, feeling like Kane messed everything up because he indeed did kill Ramirez. Now, if Ramirez was still alive, Zeke would have got out of this and it probably wouldn't be such an issue. But Kane has really messed this up, as we know. So Kane is like asking Diana and Drew, like, why didn't y'all get the PBA card from him? And Diana is like, she gave him the card. She never took it away. She's more mad at herself than anything because this could possibly, mess up Zeke's future. So Kane shows up to Tariq's room, punches him and asks him, are you trying to set up Zeke to get the professor off? They've been sleeping together. Tariq said, how am I supposed to know he's sleeping with Professor Milgram? I don't know what he be doing because they're not roommates anymore, remember? So Kane tells him, look, if anybody goes down for this, it's going to be you. And Tariq is like, it's fine. I got it handled. That's why I got the lawyer. Like, y'all don't have to worry about this. And Tariq is Kane is just kind of like, yeah, we're not going to worry about it because if shit hits the fan, you're going down for this, not us. So we see Diana meeting up with Davis and Sachs. She wants to get her father out of jail. And they're looking over his previous cases. And they're like, yeah, I don't know if this is, this might not work. And Sachs is just like, yeah, we're not getting him out. So when Diana leaves, Davis is like, why are you so happy Money just walked out the door? And Sachs is not into the mindset that you are a defense attorney. So he's like, yeah, like this was a lose-lose case. We're keeping a murderer out of, off the streets. We're keeping a drug dealer off. And Davis was like, that's a repeat customer. You gonna have to understand what side you're playing. Get out of the prosecution mindset and look more deeply into the defense attorney. This is what we do. We represent people like that. That was, somebody that could have put us on retainer. So Sachs is just kind of looking kind of like, what the fuck did I get myself into, right? So we see Kane meets up with Brayden, gives him the money, tries to lure him with some girls. And he's like, I got to go meet up with Tariq. And Kane is like, man, forget him. And Brayden is like, no. So we see that Kane is really trying to turn Brayden against Tariq. And it's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen because Brayden has this mindset where he wants to be hard. He wants to go against everything his family represents and does. He wants to be this bad boy, and it's like he's gonna get really mixed up. And I wouldn't be surprised if Brayden died by the end of the season. So we see Sax is back messing with the lady from the DA's office, and she tells him, or they actually, he tells her how Lorenzo was is trying to file another appeal to get out. She mentions what judge was over that case and how he used to tamper with the evidence and stuff, um, which he eventually got caught for. But he used to tamper with the evidence, which in turn got a lot of drug dealers off the streets. So Sax is like, bingo, that's how we can get him off. So he texts Davis and tells him, this is how we are going to get this is how we're going to get Lorenzo out of jail. Lorenzo's going to get out of jail, and I feel like hell is going to break loose. So then we have Brayden, who does show up to Baxter's office with Tariq, and Brayden is telling Tariq, yeah, this, I know you don't want to branch out, but, we can really move more money if we do this, hit the streets. And Tariq is like, dude, I'm telling you, like, how many times I gotta tell you we're not doing that? Let's keep what we got going because it's working. And see, Tariq is thinking about it in a smart, more upper level business way. Brayden is being reckless because Brayden is mystified by this money like he didn't come from money. And I'm not understanding that. Like, you can probably go ask your parents for a couple $1,000s and get it without fail. So I don't understand why he's so mystified by money. But he ends up signing this LLC for Tariq, and I'm like, you ain't reading no paperwork. Did you ask Tariq what this was all for? Like, aren't you confused about this? If shit goes sideways, your name is on the company. If there's fraud, your name is on the LLC. But that was tonight's episode of Power. So if you let me know how you guys felt about the episode. That was Power Book Ghost Season 2, Episode 3, The Great or Good. Check you guys next time.